Hello and welcome to Lawrence Live. I'm Dr. Sean Smith, Superintendent of Schools of Lawrence Township. And again, I'm excited. I have two very special guests representing Lawrence Central High School and Lawrence North. We have two of our student leaders who are doing incredible things with community service. To my right, I have Maya from Lawrence Central High School, and to my left, I have Sophie from Lawrence North High School. Welcome, ladies. I hear that you're both doing some incredible things with the LLS Society, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, ladies and gentlemen. And so these two ladies are providing great leadership in our district with our students to help in that area. So tell us what you're doing, Maya.
So what we're doing, Sophie and I were nominated for Student of the Year for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and it is a 7-week fundraising process that started on January 24th. And it goes all the way until March 16th, which is our grand finale. So during this time, we're just contacting families and doing Dine to Donates, and we have some special things that we're working on together too. So it's just gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah.
Outstanding. So Sophie, tell me more. Tell us more about LLS. What do they do? Why should we support it? And tell us.
It's just such a great cause, especially when you know someone who has unfortunately been diagnosed with a blood cancer or any sort of cancer, because they do reach out and help other sorts of cancers, and they donate to them too. And since I've one of my good friends, Clara, that goes to Lawrence North, had been diagnosed with leukemia over the summer, I just always wanted to help out in some way, and just doing something for such a great cause has been so nice for me.
That's good. That is outstanding. It's amazing to listen to you young ladies, because you're saying it with a lot of passion. And but how do you get 5,000 of your classmates and the community behind? Let's start with your classmates, because it's always tough. Because I think a lot of people think that high school students don't know what they're doing, but you guys know what you're doing. You're leaders. How do you get everybody rallied behind this?
Social media is a huge platform that we use to get all of our information out there. So basically, we make flyers for anything that we have going on, and we will post them. And our principals are huge helpers with that. They'll retweet or they'll repost anything that we put out there. And that really helps get it out to a lot of the kids in our school. And then also, I tell my teachers about it, and then they can tell their classes about it. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing an incredible job of getting the message out, because that's how I found out about you guys, through social media, through our public relations. A lot of great things that you two ladies have done that has really made a mark for our community throughout the state of Indiana. So, but talk about some of the specific initiatives you guys have done to raise money, and how much money have you raised?
Right. We do have to keep that number private so far, but
a lot. Is it a lot?
Sure.
Our goal, there are 22 kids nominated, and our goal is $500,000. So some things we've done. So Maya and I actually came together, and we have decided to make a Lawrence North staff versus Lawrence Central staff basketball game, which will be hosted on March 7th at Lawrence North. So we are very looking forward to that, which is awesome, because it's getting the student body involved, and everyone's just very excited, because we have some of the senior boys being cheerleaders and the teachers playing the game, and then some of the varsity basketball players are going to be coaches, and it's just going to be an all-around great experience.
What have you got out of this, young ladies? Because both of you, now what grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
Junior?
Junior.
Junior, two juniors. What are you guys getting out of this in terms of your leadership and growth as students?
This is just a very, it's helping me grow my communication skills and helping me meet so many different people. I've met an enormous amount of people that I had no idea were even out there, and it's just a good opportunity for me to communicate with people, and my sponsorships that I'm getting. It's just good life skills to keep with me for a really long time.
Sophie, how about you?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. It's just cool to get to know. I've gotten to know so many huge corporate managers of companies, and learned how to secure sponsorships and all of that. And also one thing I've learned, which I'm very proud of, is getting in front of people and talking. I'm not as scared to do that anymore. And then I learned how to properly write a good email to yeah, so that's been helpful too.
You're learning great life skills,
Yeah.
aren't you, young lady? And that is the beautiful part about being a student and student leadership within our high schools. I'm really proud of both of you, but I'm going to give both of you the microphone and allow for each of you to give one comment that you can give to our public, because this goes out to everyone, as to why they should donate to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Okay.
Maya.
Thank you. So I am running in honor of my dad, Jeff McIntosh, who was recently diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, and that was about a year and a half ago. And that was shortly after he was diagnosed with kidney cancer, and my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. So cancer has sadly had a huge impact on my life. They are all fine. Well, my dad takes a chemo pill every day,
Sure.
which was Leukemia Lymphoma Society funded that pill that he takes. So when I learned that, it was just amazing. Like, I knew I had to get involved, and all this money is just going straight to finding even more cures for blood cancer. So it's going to help so many families who have gone through the same thing as me or worse with losing. I have gotten so lucky that I've not lost either of my parents to cancer.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Sophia, how about you?
Well,
What's your passion?
Kind of like what I said earlier about, like, it's just such a good feeling you gain from donating to such a great cause, especially if you know someone, and how it's all these, like, all the money also doesn't just go to blood cancers, it goes to people with, like, breast cancer or brain cancer, all those kinds of things. And I just personally believe it's such a great cause, and I've gotten so much joy out of doing something so amazing. Like, it's so important to do something so great, because then you get the great outcomes you feel at the end of the day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, these young ladies are very passionate about a great cause. They are developing great leadership, and ladies and gentlemen, they touch me, so we're going to support them. So, ladies and gentlemen, both of our high schools, Maya and Sophia, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing about this important cause. And remember these two young ladies as they will come out to the community and ask for donations, because I think it's worthy of that. And I'm just tell you both how proud I am of you as
Thank you
juniors.
Thank you so
Okay?
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this segment of Lawrence Live. We'll be right back with you. Hello and welcome back to Lawrence Live. I'm Dr. Sean Smith. For the second segment of our show today, I'm joined by two important individuals. Middle school students may recognize these two, but the district and the community, you need to know them. To my right, I have Mr. Andy Harsha, principal of Belzer Middle School, and to my left, we have Fall Creek Valley principal, Mr. Ruben DeLuna. Welcome, middle school principals. And matter of fact, first time on my show. So we do have Mr. DeLuna here, who is new. This is his first year as principal of Fall Creek Valley. Mr. Harsha, shall I say this is your fourth year?
That's correct.
It is your fourth year as principal of Belzer Middle School. So, gentlemen, I'm so glad to have you. This is a part of our district that sometimes goes unnoticed. The 2,500 plus students that we have in our 7th and 8th grade are led by these two gentlemen. So I'm so glad that you're on our show today. So let's talk about both of you. What is going on at Belzer Middle School, Mr. Harsha?
One thing I want to talk about is that we are implementing this year and focusing on social emotional learning. So we have taken some time to train our staff and make time within our daily schedule to really focus on some important learning that happens at the middle school level as students are developing socially and emotionally. We've really taken some time out from the academics to make sure we're taking time to talk about dealing with your emotions, setting goals, how do we make and maintain positive friendships, and some of those things that we recognize, particularly at this age group, are just so important for students to be successful at school.
Mr. Harsha, that has not changed. As I reflect back 20 years ago as a middle school principal myself, we had those same topics. So you're talking about the age level of our students and what their personal needs are, and social and emotional are something certain big that we have for middle school students. So what about at Fall Creek Valley? Mr. DeLuna, what's a big thing that you have going on
Sure.
this year?
I think Mr. Harsha hit the nail on the head, doing that and finding ways to incorporate our advisor leads, using the new Lattice system. And as our staff always hears is, before we can teach math, we need to be able to teach Matthew and be able to understand Matthew and see what are some of the things that we need to support outside of the curriculum that's going to allow Matthew and all of our students to be able to reach that curriculum.
Exactly. So working with those young young adolescents is certainly something very big. As we know, those students, they're in 7th grade, they're 5'2". By the time they get to 8th grade, they're 6 foot. So there's much that goes on with their bodies and their minds. So, gentlemen, let's talk about from a district standpoint. A little birdie told me that we really have a lot of planning and discussion going on amongst our middle school. We have a district-wide middle school committee, and you two are members of it. Let's just highlight a few things that we're discussing and planning for this future for our 2 middle schools. Mr. Harsha?
So I've been very excited to take part in that process that has involved teachers, counselors, administrators, parents, district administrators, all of us looking through the lens of what do we need to provide? What are we currently providing for our middle schools? And then, are there any gaps? Are there some areas that we need to change or improve to make sure that we're serving middle schools to the best of our ability? So we have done some visits to other schools. We've gone to some conferences. We've sent some groups on little study trips to make sure we know what's out there. But we have looked at everything from scheduling to team teaching to the social emotional curriculum that we talked about, and of course the academic course offerings with the big focus right now on graduation pathways. Although we don't just consider our middle schools as a launch pad to the high school, we do want to make sure that we are looking through the lens of, are we truly preparing our students when we send them off to go to LN or LC? Are they prepared, and have we set them up for success for those graduation pathways?
Excellent, excellent. How about Mr. Lewin, through your lens, what are you seeing?
Same thing, and we've been blessed here in Lawrence to have the cooperation of our staff and our parents to do this work and taking a look at the different options in middle level education and seeing the great things that we offer. As you know, we are unique with the choice and some of the programming that we have that other districts are envious of us, and they want what we have. But taking a look at the structures of the school day, the schedule, the organizing of students, and how we're allocating our resources to best serve those students is really the purpose and the goal of every one of those subcommittees.
Absolutely. And so I know you guys have been working hard, and actually this committee's been going the entire school year and hoping to build some great recommendations for me and the Board of Education towards the end of the year. So I'm really excited about the work that you're doing, because we certainly want to take our middle schools to the next level. Let's talk about, you two are really unique in your backgrounds. You both worked at the high school level. So, and that, I think that brings added value for your 2 middle schools, because now we say we're not preparing kids for the high school, but it's really a short period that the kids are with you, and then they're off to this big race to graduation. If both of you could give parents just one bit of advice in terms of what we need to do to get our kids prepared for really the next 6 years, what would you tell them?
I would suggest that parents are patient with their middle schooler. Sometimes that can be tough because middle school students are sometimes emotional, and they can be impulsive, and they're just trying to figure so much out about themselves, about their friends, about what's important to them. And sometimes, as much as it can frustrate teachers that are spending all day with them at school, it can sometimes get frustrating. It also, I know, can get frustrating for parents. So I think some parents have a preconception in their mind that once they get to middle school, they just sort of let the child go, right? Elementary is very structured, and I'm in communication with that teacher all the time, and then middle school is the time to just let them go. Well, we do advocate that students start becoming more independent, but we absolutely do not want our parents to just let go and step back. We need them. This is a very important time in those students' academic and in their entire life. This is a crucial time of their life, and we need parent support. So I would say be patient and stay with us.
Absolutely. Mr. DeLuna, what about you?
Definitely. I would add that just always remember that 12 and 13-year-old children are a work in progress, and just take a moment and pause and think back to your own middle school experiences and see what those 7th and 8th grade experiences, how those compare to the high school experiences and even the adult experience, and how different those are. I learned very quickly the difference between middle school and high school when we had scheduled pickup in the Tiers shed trying to work a combination lock. And so I know it can be a daunting task for not only the students, but then also for the parents, how my child maneuver the system. But they do. students are resilient, and we have staff members at Falkland Valley and Belzer who have their best interests in mind, and we are there to help. And it's a learning process for all of us, keeping in mind that students are that work in progress, and that student, even though we only have them for 2 short years, they're a vastly different person when they walk in as 6th graders to the one that walks out as 8th graders.
That's well said. I think both of you said it very, very well. And you can validate that they will graduate. So you both have been on the other side and know that the kids will dramatically change over the next 4 years and then move into high school and do very well as they move on to graduation and beyond. So these are our 2 middle school principals. They are on the post serving you, ladies and gentlemen, in our community. We're very blessed to have them with vast experiences, and they have an incredible staff behind them doing wonderful things. And I want to thank both of you for joining us today on this segment of Lawrence Live. And ladies and gentlemen, have a great day.